So Smallgate just dropped a huge update to RTA where it's exactly what it says. You can no longer ban the third slot hero in World Arena. And honestly, this is the last thing that I would expect them to do. Because like when you hear about someone complaining about RTA, they're they're usually complaining about how many broken units there are. And to be honest, I feel like the first solution would be to globally ban units. However, they're taking the approach that stops you from banning problematic units in a sense. Because someone could just they could pick their most broken unit in the third slot and you can't do anything about it. Which is very interesting. But this has a lot of other implications too. So I actually think this is so for one, recapping the World Arena season, the season was very speed intensive, but also slow play was very strong because of Laya. One of the most popular playstyles to get to Legend was basically solo DPS Laya. And that involves just slowly killing the other person one by one with her. And it was a very toxic playstyle, which was extremely hard to deal with unless you had pretty much all the aggro tools, and even then, it was definitely the superior style unless you had some absurd speed. I'm gonna be honest, the slow playstyle was definitely the best last season because even though it was slow, it was consistent. I pretty much always preferred to be on the side playing Laya. Like sure, if someone has like some insanely fast units like a 310 speed Emo Politish, yeah, they can kind of run everyone over. But not many people have that. And honestly, it only mattered if you were going for Hall of Fame. But otherwise, slow play was definitely a bit more dominant last season, I would say. But that's solely based on win rate. Like there were so many cleavers and aggressive players, but their win rates overall were not that good. Like I think I'm just gonna say I think Laya was the strongest playstyle because it was the safest and highest win rate. But it also felt very bad to die to fast players. But that doesn't mean their playstyle is the best. So with that said, yeah, I think it was a very slow player favored meta. But this is going to make that even better. Because if you want to play aggressive, the most common strategy is to just ban mitigation. But now, a slow player, they can always pick their Crimson Armin in the third slot and they'll never have to worry about it getting banned. And that is insane. There will be no such thing as just ban mid anymore. But that's also very bad. Similarly, if you intend to go like a debuff heavy playstyle, or you want to pivot into debuffs, the other person could pick a cleanser in their third slot and they will never be pressured to pick a second cleanser because they know they're getting a cleanser guaranteed. So I think this change is a complete and utter nerf to aggressive playstyles. Maybe even cleave too. I'm not sure. I don't know if this could benefit cleave because the issue is, let's say you're cleaving, you can guarantee that your Rand gets through, or you can guarantee that your Emo Ludwig gets through, but I'm not sure if that's significant enough. We'll have to see. because a lot of anti-cleave strategy revolve around either banning Ran or banning Ludwig. We're definitely going to have to actually see it play out first to really judge. But yeah, I think this prevent setup just makes slow players just so much stronger. But besides that, I actually feel like this is an awful change for the game, because it's kind of removing an entire dimension of the drafting phase. Because like you don't have to worry about having enough damage, because you can get, basically it removes a lot of worries in the draft. For example, what if you want to solo carry a DPS and pick 4 supports for them? Well, you can do that now. You can pick your solo carry DPS in the 3rd slot and then pick 4 supports for it. And you're never, with this system, you're never pressured to pick 2 of something anymore, because you can guarantee that one type of unit will get through the draft. And I feel like this kind of dumbs down the game a little bit. Like it's hard to abuse vulnerabilities in the draft now. Like, it's hard to punish bad play, I suppose, because usually, let's say you pick a debuffer early and they lock in Cleanser in the 3rd slot, that removes your ability to flex into debuffs, because you know you have no chance of just banning the Cleanser. And you can't just run someone over anymore with damage because you can't ban mitigation. So I feel like that just makes the game easier for slow players, which I guess is, I don't know. I feel like slow players are way too favored in RTA now. Like, despite Genua, despite Politis, I think this change in the draft phase really breaks it. And yeah, it also it's harder to see like the difference in player skill, because let's say someone has a bad last pick. If someone picks a bad unit last, typically in an even draft, your last pick should be the pick that's getting banned if you picked something good. But if you don't pick something good, then you get punished by the other person because they can ban something else on your team. But because you can block the ban, there's less punishing the other person. So it removes the reward from drafting better. Because yeah, typically if an aggro player feels like their opponent picked poorly, then they can get away with banning mitigation. But now you can no longer do that. And I think that is huge, and yeah, it takes away from the skill aspect of RTA for sure. And I really feel like it doesn't introduce any strategy. I really don't think it introduces strategy, and I think it's an awful change. I think this change is good for people who want to force their playstyle with as little effort as possible. And yeah, I just don't think overall it is good. So yeah, that's I guess that's my thoughts summed up. Thank you for watching. See you next time.